Hey, Bradley. Hey, Don. This is Brian Prince from Lead Gadget with Bradley Benner, my CST, Chief Support and Training Officer, and my CTO, Don Van Forsyth. Listen, guys, we need to turn around and give you guys a little bit better explanation for the new people that are coming on board and looking at Lead Gadget. We have been so focused on building with with our group for so long, we forgot that there's actually people out there that don't know what Lead Gadget is. So we're going to do a detailed explanation. I want to take you step by step in a way that will make Lead Gadget, the ATM, easy to understand. I'm going to show you why you need this, and I'm going to tell you all the basic functions and features that are inside of it. Then you're going to understand why this product and the service that it gives you is one of the most amazing opportunities that's in IM at all. There's no other opportunity that comes close to this out there. Don and I have been working on it for years. The ATM. The ATM is a website building machine. It will create thousands of valid and Google-friendly web pages. Each page will provide a way for the visitor of that page to come onto your website, or better yet, a client's website you've built. Let's talk about how the ATM will bring you money with ads or products. Don, why don't you try and explain a little bit for all these wonderful people that are watching us some of the ways we monetize this, please.
Yeah, I mean, one of the ways, first off, we want to definitely make sure that we talk about this as far as it's two different products that are joined together, and I think we'll mention that later. But the ATM is the actual powerhouse, the building machine, and Lead Gadget is the actual network. So what happens is with the ATM, you can build sites for the Lead Gadget network, but I know a lot of people are probably familiar with things that they've heard in the past, like CPA networks or other affiliate networks, and they've probably applied to some of those networks as well and not been able to get approved or just had other problems with them in the past. What we've done is we've made the Lead Gadget. Yeah, it is a big problem, especially in other countries. And
Brad's been doing a lot of training, and he's seen it. And we hear it all the time. These CPA networks, they don't want to allow new marketers or marketers that they don't feel are up to their standard.
Right. And it's not just that. Another thing that's a big problem is the fact that even after you get approved to a network, a lot of times the offers will require approval for special types of exclusive offers that they may have, and they won't approve you unless you have a very long track record of providing tons of different leads or conversions for them. Where when it comes to the Lead Gadget and the ATM, when you join Lead Gadget, you're automatically inside the ATM and Lead Gadget, the network itself, and you're automatically approved for any of the offers that are inside Lead Gadget. And we make sure that we put offers in there that we know work really well with the way that the ATM works, which ATM is a beast when it comes to lead generation. So you're going to find that the vast majority of the offers that we provide inside the Lead Gadget network are going to be lead generation. So every time, what we mean by lead generation is every time somebody fills out a form, they complete that form, then you get paid for that.
Don, it's funny you say that because Bradley does this training every week, guys. Every single week, we train you in a different vertical, a different need, whatever it is that's out there. And when Bradley does this, he's not doing it because he wants to be heard. He wants to make sure you earn more money. So if we're going to give you the verticals, we want to make sure that you learn the correct way how to build a site that is going to generate lots of nice passive income for you. Passive because once you build the site, you really don't have to do anything to it at all. It's done. Once it's built, you do the cleanup. So, it's a wrap.
Yeah,
But
basically, when Brian's saying that, once you do that, I mean, a lot of times the terminology is the thing that throws a lot of people off. Like you'll see later on, we're mentioning things like short codes. Brian just mentioned the cleanup. When a site gets done, the ATM itself, it builds a WordPress site. And what happens when it builds that WordPress site is it automatically builds it, it uploads it to the server, and deploys that site so that it's live when it comes out of the ATM. So it's not like you have to do anything else, but you do have to log into the WordPress site itself and just save the permalinks and a couple other minor things real quick, and the site is done.
well, let's continue here. Lead Gadget is a network that buys leads, filled out, filled out forms that are out there. Those are leads. You guys understand this, I think, because many people have filled out the form requesting information. These forms are 99.9% of the time are free. Get your free information. That's a lead, guys. So it's not like we're trying to change what a lead is. That's a lead. Some people haven't understood it correctly. So that's why we're doing this. We want to make sure that everybody has full and fair knowledge of exactly what this monster that we have created called the ATM is. These pages you bring people, the pages you build will bring people to them. You point these people to a main website within the site. Okay.
Just to touch on that real quick. Sometimes what we're talking about is sometimes people may visit your site that you built through the ATM, and what they're going to see is you're either going to present them with a way to click off that page and go to an actual website where they fill out the form, or in some cases, some of the offers you'll actually be able to present that stuff on your ATM site and they'll fill it out. It just depends on what it is and what the vertical is.
Now, the ATM and Lead Gadget, even though we talk about them as one, they're really two separate products, but they're kind of connected at the hip, like we say. Because if you have a subscription to the ATM, 99% of the time you're going to want to build sites to monetize it. Well, maybe not 99% of the time, because we have many clients that don't do any lead generation with Lead Gadget. They have SEO companies, they have regular clients, and they just build the sites for them.
Well, let's actually touch on that, Brian. The fact of the matter is, with the ATM, we put the Lead Gadget network in place so that you had offers that were easy for you to find, be able to grab, and promote. But the ATM can be used for anything that you want. It doesn't matter what it is. You can use it for anything that you want. You can use it for client sites. You can use it for your own lead generation. Maybe you have contracts with companies out there that you want to provide leads for. You can use it for AdSense sites. You can use it for Amazon sites. It doesn't matter what it is. Any type of affiliate site or lead generation or anything else you come up with. I mean, it's totally up to you. We just provide the Lead Gadget network so that there's offers that you can quickly find and promote and get paid well for.
But Don, I'm a bricks and mortar business owner. I don't know what this internet marketing is. How would this Lead Gadget and ATM help me?
Well, for one thing, if you're a bricks and mortar marketer, then you more than likely have a bricks and mortar business. So one of the things that the ATM can do is obviously bring you more leads and more traffic from the internet and give you a better presence online. Then you can go from there.
But do I have to buy those leads at $30, $40, $50 each like I've been charged in the past? How would that work for me?
Right. Obviously, people are going to ask that, and one of the things that you'll want to know right now is if you're building the sites for yourself, they don't cost you anything for the leads.
You mean to say that the individual leads on the sites that I build won't cost me extra?
Right. If you're sending leads to your own properties or your own products or your own sites or even your client sites, it doesn't cost you anything other than the monthly fee that you're paying.
Well, I've been doing a lot of pay-per-click, Facebook ads, and I mean, I don't have to do as much now. I can save some of that money to my bottom line of my company.
Exactly. Now, you guys are probably listening right now, and you see what we're doing. Brian's jumping in as basically the customer trying to ask questions about this. And one of the things you'll want to know is a lot of people do pay for paid traffic right now, and you can find a lot of the people that you might want to actually build and send, build sites for and send leads to just from the AdWords itself. If you look at some of the AdWords sites, you'll find a lot of people are bringing lead generation. They're building lead generation sites and bringing it in through pay-per-click traffic. It's very easy to save these people a ton of money and bring them traffic that actually converts at a higher rate and saves them a ton of money when it comes to things like AdWords. So that's one of the ways that you could also use this and monetize it as well. And that's where a lot of people actually make a lot of money with the ATM right now. A lot of people aren't promoting, like we just said, the offers that you see in like this network or another CPA network. They've actually got their own contracts in place. They went out and got clients, and they're providing leads for those guys and saving and cutting their their pay-per-click cost in half.
Wow. So I'm not, Don, I gotta tell you, I appreciate the way you took that from me, because there are a lot of bricks and mortar companies that I've been getting messages from, whether they're in Facebook or private or in an email, because these companies, they don't understand that this is not just for an internet marketer, quote unquote, but businesses can also jump on the ATM, and they didn't understand how. And I think you really hit on it, so now they're going to be clear. So let's move on. Lead Gadget. Let me tell you what Lead Gadget is all about, guys. Lead Gadget contains the offers that you can promote. An offer is something that a company has sent to us, they've contracted to us to get people to build sites that will send them an offer, that they will place an offer out, and they will get leads and convert that lead into money. As an example, we have a wonderful detox rehab facility that is trying to help people. So if these people finally hit bottom and they're looking to get their life straightened out, and they see the phone number and they dial it, and they're all qualified in about a little over 2 minutes, that internet marketer or that person that built the site and put that phone number up will be paid for that as a lead. And then you have another example, and that example would be as if it was a display form that was on the website that, of course, we provide for you. You don't have to be involved in CSS or anything else, okay? Then once you bring that out, once you bring all that out, the form, and they fill that out, not bring it out, fill it out. Once they fill the form out and they hit the submit button, that constitutes a lead. And you are going to, you're going to be paid for that. Okay. The ATM. The ATM is going to be explained in a little bit more detail now, because we know it became difficult to understand at first. But once this clicks, oh boy, here comes the power. Now, let me take you on a quick journey. Let's pretend you're new in internet marketing, whether you just came on to the internet marketing scene, so to speak, and you want to earn a living, and the way internet marketing works is you have to build websites. Well, you want to build lead generation websites. I've told you what a lead is. Now let me explain what a lead generation site is. That's a site that is specifically made and optimized and launched and deployed and kept, so this way it will drive traffic, it will suck traffic in, and when it brings the traffic in for whatever the ad is that's on there, whatever the offer is, then that's how you're going to make money. Now, Don, I gave it the rudimentary explanation. Maybe you could give it a little bit more of a technical one for some people that are a little more tech savvy.
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to the ATM now, remember that this is actually, the way that this builds sites is something that has went back all the way to 2010 as far as testing, and the ATM itself has been built over the past 2 years. So it's actually had a lot of testing. We actually had private. We had 6 people in the ATM itself for pretty much over a year before we ever let anybody else into it. And then we let another 50 people into it just to use it. And now we're getting ready to let a lot of people into it. And that was a lot of trial testing, making sure that everything worked right, seeing what Google did, seeing how things converted, etc., seeing how what we needed to do to make sure that these sites actually produce traffic. Because once you got eyeballs on the offer, then it's a lot easier to convert. So getting those eyeballs there for free with organic traffic is another thing, because organic traffic, we all know what we mean by organic traffic. First, I should say, we all know that it converts better, but organic traffic means that somebody actually went to Google, searched, or Bing or wherever, and actually searched for something and found your page listed in the search engine result pages that shows up for the actual search criteria that you put in there. So when people do that, they actually are much higher conversion rates when they do that. So they actually feel like they're in control. One of the things you'll find that when you look at like AdWords or anything else on the screen, you'll find that ad blocks or banners, etc., those often make people feel like they're being sold to, and they are already prepared with their defense screens up to not be sold. So when you end up finding a site organically and you land on it, and it's going to offer you free information to fill out this form, etc., it's much easier to get a conversion. Let's put it that way. They feel like they're still in control, etc. The ATM itself, though, what happens is it's pretty simple. Once you have a domain that you buy at your registrar, or you buy through Brain Matter Hosting, which is a hosting company we have that's specifically set up for these types of sites. Once you buy that domain, you basically add it to the ATM, and once you have it in the ATM, all you do is add some content, some keywords, etc. Tell it to go ahead and queue the website, and this is a simple, dumbed-down version of it, because there's more things that you can do as well inside the ATM. There are different things like short codes, etc., that we'll explain. But when you add the content to it and you hit the deploy button, it'll queue that site, and it'll automatically build that site, automatically deploy that site so that it's live on hosting, live on the internet, so visitors can go to it right from the get-go. And we also have a promote button in there that makes it easy for you to get the sites indexed, so you don't need anything else. But we are adding other things that will even help make that indexing, and the fact that to get your sites to rank even better, we're adding more things in there with different partners that we have on board. I don't know. What can you think of? Any other questions they might have, Brian, as far as that goes, or we're going to go into stuff? So I think on the next page.
I think we're going to be able to have some more answers, because with some of the questions, because I know what the next slides are that are going to be there for people. So, right. One of the things that you need, when you're building, when you be a new marketer, I hate the word newbie. It's really, not the right
condescending. It's condescending.
It really is.
The problem is you find a lot of people that are new to internet marketing, but they're highly intelligent, successful people. And when they come into internet marketing and you call them a newbie, to me that's condescending, because these people aren't a newbie when it comes to business, or they may not be a newbie when it comes to a lot of things, and they're highly intelligent. Like for instance, I've talked to people with PhDs and helped them become successful online in the past, and I can't call that person a newbie just because they don't understand a lot of things about the internet marketing aspects.
Yeah, it really is, it's degrading. It really makes somebody feel degraded. But let's go over what you're going to need. Let me skip through that. We don't need to harp on it. Let's go over what you need when you start in internet marketing. The first thing you need is a website. Everybody knows, no matter what it is, you're promoting, buying, whatever, you have to start with your very first website. So you need a place to purchase your domains, a registrar like Namecheap, GoDaddy, Network Solutions. We have that with a push of a button. There's no outside purchase needed, though you can bring your domains from anywhere you want. We do not require you buy domains from us. We are very competitive in the price, the same $10. give or take, a nickel here and there, whatever it is, to buy it. You can bring your domains from anywhere. We just make it a lot easier for you because if you buy it inside, the APIs that we have hooked up together with everything are going to auto install that domain. It doesn't do it today. It's going to be doing it within the next week. So
Yeah, right now, what it is we have all the code that's set aside for that because we want to make everything more push button simple. Right now, you add it manually, but it's still very easy, and it's the same way we've been doing it forever. So we don't want to make that sound like it's something hard. It's not. And not just that, but we will be making it possible for things like Namecheap and stuff to integrate as well, because it'll be not just our registrar, but we're also going to be integrated deeply with the cPanel so that you only need to add your information for like your different cPanel accounts, and we can automatically have the ATM create the domain and everything and add it right to your cPanel account, etc. Right now, like we said, that's still a manual process, but it's very quick and easy inside the ATM. But we want to make it even easier. So that's what we're talking about as far as the upgrades go.
We don't want you to think about it when you build it. We want you just to press the button and in it goes. Because the faster and easier we make it to take seconds off of your building time, okay, literally I'm saying seconds, the more you can build, okay, the less annoyed you are.
I just want to touch on one thing too real quick. The difference between a lot of the products and stuff that you see out there is they don't get upgraded. They don't have people always supporting them, and that's because they're not using the product, etc. The ATM is actually the product that we use to generate income. I mean, without the ATM, we're actually screwed. This is what we use. So
everybody knows that you hear this stupid cliche, I'm in the trenches. It's kind of funny. I've never seen any of these launch guys in the trenches. I don't see them giving the support like we do. We use it. If you read the kind comments.
I was going to say, if any of these guys go into the Facebook group, you can go to the Facebook group and join the Facebook group for without being a customer. We let people in there all the time. And if you see some of the things that are being said, you'll understand how good the support is, and you also understand that we know it. Now, for instance, let's take, for instance, the ATM itself. I'm the one that actually coded that. So when people ask questions about the ATM, like I'm having a problem with this, or that, and I can answer it usually within like 10 seconds if I'm talking to them directly at the time. If it's in a support ticket, then sometimes it takes a little bit longer to go to the support tickets, but I can answer that question right then, and they're always like, wow, I've never had anybody be able to answer this stuff like that. Well, it's a little bit different when we're a company that's actually using the product that we created, and we also created the product that we're selling access to. So it's a lot different than the people that are out there that are actually.
We didn't have a developer and a coder that we paid in India to do this. The last time I checked, it was all done by Mr. Donald Van Fossen, and that's the way it should be. The products that we sell, we build, we test, we design, we develop. We don't get them done. There's nobody that's out there building them for us and giving them to us and saying, yeah, we'll make it better and then sell it. No.
For everyone that's from India that may be watching this video, there are great developers over there. We actually talk to some of them, and some of them actually do some things for us on other projects. But what we're trying to point out is this was done in-house. This wasn't outsourced.
Yeah, I'm not, by far, everybody knows that I'm not trying to degrade anybody from India, especially if they know me for 1 minute, because we've got a ton of India working in here building sites. And the fact of the matter is, as you keep going on, you will understand how important it is to have really good people, associated with the ATM as well. Now, the hosting that we have at Brain Matter Hosting is instantly available at the push of a button. And the instant setup for your site. Don constantly is connecting things together that I'm like, well, if we try this and we try this, and he's like, yep, I'll put it on the list. Guys, if you saw what his list is, constantly you'd throw up because his list is choking. But boom, we got that inside. You don't need outside stuff with us. We have made a product, a service that from A to Z is all within. And we're going to go through a lot of this stuff now. Because, like, you're going to need content for your website, an article about or on a product to sell. Maybe you need a few ads, perhaps. What is it that you want? We include this stuff automatically. As an example, we have a wonderful man by the name of Eugene, who is our PLR expert. He's the chief PLR officer. He owns a membership site up and above outside of the ATM lead gadget. But what we're doing is Don is putting in the database a few million articles. I said a few million, not a few hundred, not a few thousand. There's a couple of million articles that are going in. And Eugene,
I think it's actually going to be like 3 million when he's done.
yes.
And the fact is, you're going to be able to search, and then different content will show up, and then you can automatically bring it right into the editor inside of the ATM. So
your editor immediately push the button that's the piece of content you want, and it's going to go from the database into the WYSIWYG editor, because you're going to have to now clean it up, turn around, put your short codes in, and we'll get into that more. But just know it's literally push button. People talk about push button and go to sleep, wake up a multi-millionaire. Well, that's all horse bunk to begin with. But the fact of the matter is, we love the push button aspect.
So is the 4-hour work week. But
yeah. Listen, guys, there's no 4-hour work week here. You spend 4 hours a day building sites, you're extremely happy every month. That's all exactly. I can say. Okay, so far the ATM has created your domain, given you space and a .com on a server. Now it's when you have your site built inside of the WYSIWYG and you hit the deploy button, it's going to create and install that WordPress site. There was an index page. You don't need to know how to put WordPress on and use an FTP and upload it. You don't have to do any of that. Nothing. Press the deploy button. The ATM does it for you. Done.
It actually adds that site. It actually adds that site to the queue, and then once it hits, once it's next in the queue, it starts building it. Technically, because of how fast the WordPress sites are built inside the ATM, that typically is rather quick from start to finish. So you'll find that it's also probably the fastest thing you've ever seen build a WordPress site correctly. And when I mean correctly is, there are a bunch of other products that try to tried to mass produce sites, and they tried to emulate products that we had brought out earlier in the past. And what happened is we've had customers that are inside the ATM right now, and they've tried them all. And there's a lot of things in the back end of WordPress as far as the database goes that people don't quite understand, especially when they outsource the creation of their product that they're trying to sell. And you'll find that, like I said, the customers have tried them all, and they said none of them work like the ATM. So that is a big plus there, because I went through a lot of time over the past few years, and make sure that this thing actually builds WordPress sites the way they're supposed to be built. So you have a bunch of different tables in the back, etc., that most people won't be familiar with, probably, that are listening to this video. But there's multiple tables in the back that have to do with things called taxonomy, etc. Just forget the tech gibberish about it. Just know that when we build the sites, everything that goes in is actually in its correct place in the database, and that's one of the reasons that these sites rank so well and work well.
You mean, Don, it's in its right place? So if I had an ATM site that was built, I could just go in there and change the theme if I felt like it?
Yeah, when these things get done, they're complete.
I just want you to answer yes or no, because I'm on the fence about getting in this product. I want to make sure that I can do anything that I can do on a regular site. I like certain plugins that I like to use, Don. I mean, can I use them? Can I put them in? Will they work?
Right. These are a complete WordPress site, so you can do whatever you want. Yes, you can add your own themes, add your own plugins. I mean, there are a couple plugins that are bad that we prevent people from using, but they're not ones that you would typically have to worry about. We try to save people from from themselves and from other marketers by not using certain things. But
I've heard about those rapid indexing plugs, causing lots and lots of problems down the road. I don't use that stuff. I'm talking about stuff that gives me a better click-through rate because of my AdSense sites. And these are all AdSense friendly, right, Don? Like I won't lose my AdSense account because the site is banned, will I?
Well, here's the one thing you always say: you never know what Google is going to do. But we have, I don't know, how many AdSense sites do we have out there?
I've got about 575 now.
Yeah,
I know
and
that.
this is all just on new builds within the past few months, though. I mean, like 4 or 5, 6 months. But we've had, I mean, doing the site building process like it is right here, we've had thousands of sites out there, never had an AdSense account banned. So, like I said, Google can do anything they want on any spur of the moment, but we've never had that problem.
Well, what if I wanted to put in a plugin that was Black Hat and you didn't know about it? Am I still allowed to use them? Because listen, this is my site and I want to be up here. I feel it's going to work for me. Might not work for you, but it's going to. Am I still allowed to use them?
You can always use any kind of plugins as long as they're not poorly written and cause problems for other users on those servers. So
well,
as long as it's a professionally written plugin and it's somebody that's actually knows what they're doing when they wrote the plugin, then you don't usually have any problems.
Yeah, because I don't want to be hacked, and I understand that there's, some plugins, some of these Black Hat plugins I could allow hacked. I just wanted to make sure I was still allowed to use it. Thanks for answering that, Don.
Well, here's actually a specific thing we can touch on right there. Like, for instance, the latest inclination of WordFence. WordFence is always a very popular plugin, and it's well known and it's used a lot. Its latest versions are actually there's some issues with. So on us, WordFence is really not something that's useful because it's basically recreating the wheel 4,000 times over. We've already got everything server side that does the things that WordFence does, like blocks the brute force attacks and protects from different types of injections and things like that. Those things, when you have WordFence, what you have to understand, if you're somebody that's familiar with WordPress and uses something like that plugin, I know some people won't know what I'm talking about that's not used to this, but for those people that are, WordFence is one of those things where if people try to brute force, like basically try to hack into your WordPress site, it saves all those IPs. Now you can have millions of IPs in your database right now that WordFence has to check every time somebody visits your site. So what it does is actually slows the site down. And then you end up getting a penalty from Google because your site is slow. So we've got all that stuff server side to protect that. So
you mean you're going to protect my site? You're going to protect me as best you can?
As best we can. Obviously, WordPress is an open source technology and people have access to it, so there'll always be exploits that are available for WordPress that you may not be able to protect against, but we do it the best we can, and we always have backups on those servers. So.
Oh, you mean that if I lost my site by mistake because I turned around and I hit a wrong button by error, you can help me recover that?
Right, and what a lot of people probably won't realize too is that we haven't spared a lot of expense here. We actually have the person that is our server administrator is somebody that actually owned a hosting company. So though that person right there is able to help people in any kind of problems they have with hosting.
He's the guy that answered all my questions, named Costas. Yeah, he was really nice. I read a lot of people had nice things to say about him in their thank you posts in back of Facebook.
Yeah, that's one of the things. If you guys ever check Facebook, like Brian's saying, he's taking the role of a customer there. If you actually check Facebook, you'll find that there's a lot of people that have said the most wonderful things about Costas, and he is a wealth of knowledge. And it's very hard for me to find people that are beyond me when it comes to certain things technical, and he's actually one of them that's really good with the hosting aspects of it.
Bradley is another one that we find indispensable now, Don, with his training and what he's been doing. He hasn't said anything on here much, but, guys, when you need help because you're learning how to build a 45,000 post page site, you're going to get it from the best. This is what we do.
Bradley,
I'm here.
When a lot of people don't realize the kind of team we have here formed when we're talking about costs, as myself, Brian, etc., and you. Maybe give these guys a rundown so they understand the kind of people they're dealing with. Like, give them some of your background.
All right. Well, I can absolutely agree that the support is awesome. When I was dealing with building my first few sets of lead gadget sites in ATM using the ATM, I had Brian do a walkthrough with me one night. We had scheduled it for 10 p.m. and we had to get Dawn involved. We were dealing with a different hosting company at that time. It was before Brain Matter Hosting, and they stuck with me for 6 hours to get everything squared away throughout the entire night, like all night long overnight. And I was absolutely floored with that kind of support. And then, I run my own SEO coaching business, and I was approached by Brian to come actually take over handling the training for lead gadget sites, because I do a lot of online training anyways in my coaching business. And so I decided to get involved, in part because I really believe in this product, number one. Number two, I use it for my own business as well. And number three, I thought this was a golden opportunity to also use some of my coaching and training skills to be able to share that with others and hope that they can have the same kind of success that I've been having with it. So,
Yeah, but guys, don't get it messed up. I make it really clear. I asked Bradley to come on because he's bad to the bone.
well, thank you.
He is one of the best guys I've ever seen on a webinar with training. And then when you need to understand, when you think you're going to miss it, he goes back and he makes you really get it.
Yeah, you guys can always check, the video section. We have a video channel on YouTube, and we also have the videos. If you go to support on leadgadget.com, you can go to the video section there, and you'll find all those webinars. If you scroll down to the bottom, that Bradley's been doing weekly, and they're great. Wealth of knowledge there.
Okay. Other features of the ATM. The ATM will allow you to write your own content, customized. What does it matter? If it's not generated, you can put spinner content in there, spun content. You can put spinner, curly brackets and pipes to change things. You can put them in short codes. Okay. There are so many things and ways to make this work unbelievably well. That's what we're trying to say here, guys. We really are. We call them short codes because that's commonly what they're known for in WordPress. These short codes are to make your life easy while you create your own content. These short codes are simple to make in just a few minutes. We have tutorials how to make them that are built in. But as an example, just so you understand, say you want to make a super spinner paragraph, because you only want one paragraph to change within your content that you have, so it makes it unique on every other page. You just put a spinner in 100 words, for example, into a super spinner format, drop it into the shortcode area, and then you can take it out and drop the shortcode at the end of the paragraph, and it automatically inserts it 1, 2, 3. And
think about the short codes basically as stuff that you're going to reuse in different builds. Yeah, you might reuse it. Like if you're in a specific vertical niche, let's say for instance you're doing something for plumbing. If you're doing something for plumbing and you're building sites for that, a lot of times you're going to have like a spun paragraph that you might want to put at the end of it. We call them closers at the end of the content that's going to be built for your site. You might store that inside your shortcodes. You might store videos, different types of YouTube videos that you might want to show up inside your site on different pages. You might store that in there. You might store links to the outbound links to different sites, etc. You might store those in shortcodes. Anything that's a lot of times going to be reused, or something that you might want to make that's just going to make things simpler. Like for instance, you have custom lists in there, which we build sites typically that are based on geographic locations. So a lot of times we'll have city, state, etc. like that in there. But you can also do things like model numbers, car models, things like that. Any kind of different things that you have in a custom list. But you can take the short code and throw some of those custom list into those short codes and be able to use them over and over again so that it makes it quicker. Like for instance, if you're going to build something in the United States, You have a list that's set up for the United States geographic locations. Inside that list, there's actually inside that actual list, there's multiple lists. So you could combine those into a short code so that they're always rotated and used inside the ATM. And I know a lot of times that stuff isn't gonna compute. It's gonna be a little bit harder, but unfortunately you have to actually see it. So I recommend like maybe you look at the videos or something on the site. After you sign up too, if you have any problems with that, you're added to a Skype group. People in there will help each other all the time. They constantly do. We're always in there helping each other. So when you have questions about things like that, we're able to clear it up really quick or show you what to look at instantly so that it's clear and it actually clicks. Because I know sometimes even talking about it with slides, etc. here, a lot of times things like that won't make sense. Just put it this way, short codes are very powerful when they're used right inside the ATM. And if you have any problem figuring them out after you're inside, we're there to help.
Okay, so you need to have graphics. Wait a minute. You want more? Here's also a lot of things that you need to create your sites and pages a breeze. You need to have graphics. Everybody knows you got to have pictures and things like that, banners, page headers, that kind of thing. We use the greatest software ever. It's by Mark Sylvester, and it's Laughing Bird software. Mark is awesome. He is a graphics genius. Okay? He really is. I'm not trying to exaggerate for him. Anybody that knows Laughing Bird software, he has got many, many years, over almost 2 decades of just perfecting a product that there is just an ungodly amount of copies in existence. Well, it's being changed just a little bit on the code to make it work within the ATM, so you don't have to have it locally on your machine. You don't have to buy it. It's included. This is included stuff that we've made so the product has everything in it. You don't have to buy graphics software. It comes included. Bam, the graphics engine is included in your fingertips.
Should say that a lot of times when people, like if any of you have ever bought any products online with internet marketing, you see upsells, downsells, all the time, all over the place. Well, the thing is with this is you don't see that because it's not needed. Everything that you need is here.
It's included. It's not, oh, well, pay this price, and then if you get this, and then pay this, you get this. No, you get all of it for one price. Pay one price. Okay, that's how we work. Now, you got to have your own S3 account at Amazon, but it's yours alone for the storage of your graphics. I am considering getting a storage just for the ATM, but that's not going to happen for a little bit of time. So we love S3. We have a module built to make sure it can save to your S3 on your computer. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, basically, for people that don't know what S3 is, it's just a place where you're going to store things like image files. And
yeah, it's Amazon.
Yeah, and it'll use those for the site. It's the images that are on the sites, and it can always pull those images really fast, etc. And it doesn't cost it's almost
like
nothing.
$2 a month.
If you're just storing images, it's almost nothing.
Okay, we're going to teach you how to use it because it really is like using a folder on your laptop. Okay, we're going to show you how to set up and connect your Copyscape API key, if you want to, right in the back of the ATM. So anything you're promoting on Lead Gadget or other sites, look, you can check out, if it's you can check it through Copyscape to make sure.
I mean, well, you got to remember that a lot of people probably on here don't even know what Copyscape is. So Copyscape is just
that's a good idea, Don.
Copyscape is just a place where you can have content that you're going to put on your site check to see if there's any duplicates out there on the internet. Now, if you see something that's been used thousands of times across the internet, obviously that may not be something that you want to use on your site. So you can use Copyscape to check it and then rework it a little bit, the content, before you actually build the site.
The ATM can build a website. The websites can have right now up to 45,000 page posts each. Okay, and they'll all be semi-unique content on each page, because you're using certain short codes in there that, as we said, have spinner paragraphs. And this is how we teach how to do it. Because you need to have different keywords, mixed around. You need to have different content, just changed a little bit. They're like a directory site if you really think about it.
The thing is, when you go into the ATM and you look at all the videos and stuff that we have there, we're teaching you how to do it exactly the way that we are profitable at it. So there's no, and with Bradley's training that he's doing every week, he's showing ways that we've been using this and being profitable at it. So that's the main thing. We want people to use it right. So I suggest people, a lot of times when people buy a product, etc., sometimes they go out there and they try to do things their own way before they do it our way. Try to do it our way first, because you'll be more successful, and then you can always come up with new ideas to try afterwards.
How do we know each page content is unique? That's what Copyscape is. It's a service. And listen, guys, it's like a penny for every check. I mean, I put $25 a year onto it, and you're always checking, and it literally is like a penny per check. And it'll prove if your content is found somewhere else on the web or nowhere else on the web. Okay? You need unique text. You can add your Spinner software API to the back end. Okay? The Spinner software I'm talking about is like Jonathan Ledger's the best spinner, but we're going to have that be able to go in a little bit with his API.
It's not actually that one. It's the best. It's the spin rewriter. That's the API that's in there. So
that's in there now. But like we said, we're going to have the others in there. You might be looking at this video, in April, and it just hasn't been installed yet. But what is installed right now today working is Spin Rewriter, which is another awesome piece of software. And you get your own, if you want to use it, you get your own API key, you put it in there and it works. It's built in for you. It works. Okay? This is push button easy, guys. That's the bottom line is everything we want to do is spinning, whatever, is push button. You have to be able to build these sites quickly. Why do you have to build them quickly? Because the more you get out there, the more you make. Period. That's just the bottom line. To index your site legitimately, you need to have your links indexed safely. Backlinks Indexer is the best there is. Don Anton and Matt Anton are two extremely close friends now. They are bad ass by any means and whatever. They've had their company BLI for about 5.5, 6 years right now. And if you don't know them already, you'll find them. But like every other product, service, everything within the ATM, it's included. There is a plugin that goes out with every build, and it's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday, I think, is when it's going out 100% of the time. It's in beta test right now. Actually, it's coming out of the beta test on Sunday or Monday, and then it's going in the ATM. And what it's going to do is for the first 60 days, your site has been launched. It will automatically pull a random amount of links every day and make sure that they are properly indexed safely. We have an indexer installed on every site that when you deploy the site, okay, it has special settings in it that'll auto-index everything. It's called the promote button. That'll do it safely. And the backlinks indexer is it adds more power. Don, could you talk about the promote button for 1 minute, literally? Because I want them to know how safe we really work with it, where it goes.
Well, the promote button is actually, it does the common stuff for you. Like, for instance, it submits the sitemap for the site to Bing and Yahoo. It submits the site through Pingomatic. And it also does a couple other quick indexing things that we do with some Whois sites, etc. So it does everything super safely, things that Google expects to see, instead of doing massive rapid indexing with various trickery. This way it holds you. You end up having your site rankings end up being more stable after doing something with like the promote button, etc. And then the backlink indexer comes in behind it, and it's something that'll just reaffirm everything.
Okay, the ATM builds awesome WordPress sites. You have the ability to do anything to these WordPress sites. We've already touched on this, guys, but I can't stress enough that You can't tell it's built from the ATM at all when you look at it. There's not a stamp on it. This is built by the ATM. You'll have your personal login, and you can change anything you want. Add graphics to any page you want. Header image, banner images, backgrounds, tower images, side footers. It doesn't matter. You can add any plugins that you want that we have not auto-installed when it was built. We have many things that we have auto-installed because you might want to use them. Something like Easy AdSense. Very simple. Everybody likes to do it.
Hey, if I may jump in for a minute, Brian.
Sure, please go ahead.
One of the things that I cover in the training every week, guys, is different plugins and different services and things like that are going to make your job with building these sites a hell of a lot easier, number one, more efficient, number two, and also make the sites convert better to where you increase your conversion rates. And that's something that I consider one of the most important aspects of the training, is to make sure that I can help you to make your job easier, more efficient, and also the sites convert as best as they can. And so that's something that I'm constantly searching for and seeking out is tools and plugins and things like that will help us and help us all. And so that's something that I'll cover on a weekly basis. Okay.
Yeah, and it's something like Bradley just did a webinar for, because we're on the fourth week of just starting to do these weekly training webinars. And if people check that out, you're going to find a lot about different ways to keep conversions up with some of the plugins and stuff, and some of the tips and tricks he gave you on webinar 4, because I saw different parts of that. I went through and skimmed through that, Bradley, and that was excellent.
Thank you.
I really got to touch on something else. We put a bunch of plugins in. What's going to happen in the future, of course, everybody might want a different plugin, but we're not going to auto install 50 plugins. But what we're going to have, it's going to be called the announcement board. It's going to be a light box that pops out and tells you if there's something new out there that's really good. You might want to grab it. Instead of getting bombarded with emails and all the rest, you'll be able to read our personal review, and maybe Bradley will take the plugin and use it in a training. So if you want to grab it, because it's not something for everyone, you'll be able to just grab it right through the announcement board, okay, and pick it up if it's probably $17 or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Just so you can get it right there at ease and know it's a plugin that we have tested, because we want to make sure that everything that comes out that's used, we test, so this way you will convert higher. Our job.
So in other words, it's somewhere that you can at least get real insight on something that's working, because we're not going to throw anything in there that's not something we haven't tested or and are sure that works well with the ATM and is going to be useful for you. So, it's not like don't think that you're going to go into the ATM and get bombarded with advertisements or something, because you're not. It's just, if we find stuff that's really going to help people, then we might say it in there, and then Bradley might show it in training or something on a weekly basis.
Like Joe Troy has got ACT. Okay, the ACT software that a lot of people know, they might want to put it in there. They might want to grab a copy or something like that, because it's known. After we check it for safety. When I say for safety, guys, I'm talking about we're checking it for bad scripts. We've had some stuff that's come in lately that is doing a lot of the hijacking your site with the emails and things like that. That's what we're talking about. Our job is not just to sell you this product where you're in here every month. Our job is to help you make money with it. You need to convert. The only way you're going to stay with us and love us is if we're going to give you extra help and make sure that we can help your sites grow better and have the right tools in them so you make more money. And we'll go like Mike Marsh did. Bragged he's having $1,000 days now. I'm so proud of him, because he's really trying, where people are bragging constantly now about how well they're doing. Cody Wise, for example, another one that's doing it. Really, really, really good guy. And he's, telling people, this is how I'm doing it. This is what I'm doing. And that's why this group is more of a family affair. It really is.
Yeah,
So,
you'll find that's one of the greatest things about this group is these people that are actually doing things and successfully doing them with the ATM. You'll find that they'll share that knowledge because we're not worried about it. Once you understand the true process of the way the ATM works, you don't worry about stepping on other people's toes, etc. You don't worry about helping other people because there's enough room for everybody.
okay. So let's recap. Really, what this amazing machine is. The main function of the ATM is to build sites that generate traffic, which in turn generates leads and generates sales and generates AdSense and generates. Listen, they are funnel sucking sites. These are we call them funnel sites because they just suck it down and spit out money. That's how the ATM got its name. We call it the ATM because it spits out money. The ATM will instantly create a domain on a server that has installed WordPress and built thousands of pages with unique content that will look great. It indexes the pages automatically with Google-friendly, backlinking. Well, it's not really backlinking. That's a misnomer. You can backlink the sites. We don't. But you can do it. It's still safe to do. We
Right,
index the links.
like the backlink indexer will do some backlinks for you, etc. But in reality, when you use the promote button inside, I mean, your site's going to get indexed. We're just doing something like we're adding these other options in there just to, give you something that may help you boost even more. Whatever we can do
More
to help.
options.
Yeah,
More and more
options.
options. Oh, and each of these pages will contain ads if you want them on there. Products, product pictures, links back to your main lead. All it does is create leads, thousands of them. Listen, guys, if you look at a lot of the webinars that we've done, I show my sites on there, my AdSense sites. I mean, people see my carport sites, they see my fence sites. I show them, and when I show them, guys ask, how do you get so many of them on page one? You got 6, 7, 8 spots you've taken on page one. That's because I teach you the same way I bring you right into my ATM sometimes, and I show you this is how I build the site.
Yeah, I mean, just to tell you the kind of niches. I mean, look, he's got, like you said, carports, fencing. There's heavy equipment stuff. Well, I mean, you can hit any kind of vertical or niche. I mean, that's what's great about it.
I've got a niche list, guys, that was given to me by one of my favorite builders and one of my favorite helpers by Roger Gonzalez. That is, listen, there's got to be 600 different niches on here. And I'm going to tell you what. Oh, somebody will see my site. They'll know my niche. Guys, that's just, stop. I don't care if I put out 1 million sites a day. I'll tell you everything I'm in. Come get you some. I'm making money. Why shouldn't you? What, there's not enough in there? There's 50, 100, 200,000 requests a month. I'm not building
Well,
that many sites.
people are used to hearing all the time about how people are stepping on each other and stuff, but it really doesn't seem to happen with the ATM. So you don't really run into that. So
We
I
got
mean,
tons of people
unless
in
you're building
EDU.
unless you're building sites that have the same exact content, the same exact keywords, and you're doing an exact clone, which is never going to happen.
It can happen. Look at all the EDU that goes out, Don. We got thousands and thousands of sites on EDU that Andres he's the master of disaster on that. I mean, he just crushes it. And it's like, okay, I got tons of sites out here and I never get competition. And everybody else goes out when they build their sites and they don't get any competition. Why? Because it's getting hit for a different keyword in a different spot, in a different city, in a different state.
You find that you're getting so many phrases come in that you never targeted in the first place that end up being searches that come into your site and have produced those lead sales conversions that, I think once people actually build the sites and they start seeing how that stuff works, that's when it actually clicks and hits home. But,
Guys, thanks for reviewing this amazing machine we built for you. We didn't build it for you. All right, that's a lie. Okay, we built it for us, but we decided that this is so damn powerful that it'd be fun to release it for everyone. So This way, the entire world can see what real marketers, what real badasses go and use. Because I tell you what, if you think SEO companies and all the rest of these PPC companies don't have badass software in the back to use, huh, you guys are way wrong, way, way, way wrong. Don used to have a bunch of other products and services, Mega Link Blaster. You know how many different SEO companies were in there? Dozens. Okay. You know how many SEO guys are already in the ATM? We have one of, well, I'm not going to say who it is. Some people do know him and in here, but he owns an extremely large SEO company. And you got guys like Carrie Duke, who I love to death, and Keith Baxter. These guys are just monsters in building, absolute monsters. And they show you the checks they're getting, guys. I mean, Carrie just put up an $18,000 check. Keith and some of these others, I mean, you're talking about tens of thousands a week they're making.
Yeah, I mean, like when you're talking about the SEO company, I mean, he automatically admitted that it increased him by like over $20,000 a month.
Yeah,
So,
and we got guys right now, honest, they're doing 45,000, 50,000 a month just in SEO sites. Okay? Now, I don't know if you guys think that this is a joke or not, but if you do, please ask everybody in the back of Facebook. You can see who they are. They're not like some scammy guy that is a fake login for somebody. These are real people, and you can get them anytime. And you hear them on webinars, and you see them in Skype and all the rest. Dude, this is legit from beginning to end, and it's 100% white hat. Guys, I use this analogy, that we're going to be like Scrapebox, SE Nuke, Xruma. Those were black hat programs, but everybody in internet marketing knows them, even if they don't use them. Well, this is going to be one of those products and services that's just going to be on everybody's lips. And I can't stand the term game changer. We didn't change a game. This is the game. We're bringing you inside the minds of real people that will constantly help you, not leaving out one little piece of the blueprint. If you have a problem, you ping Don, you ping me, you ping Bradley, you ping somebody else that's in the ATM, and we'll help you build your site right. Just don't ask Kevin Big Happy. Just don't ask Kevin Big Happy, because we call it getting Big Happies.
He's our local comedian in there, but you'll find that like I said, like Brian said, the group is like a family. But one of the things that you got to realize right now, when you have big companies like some of these SEO companies and stuff that put their faith in us and trust us, and they're seeing the results that get proven, the average everyday person that's at home right now and wanting to do this, if they can trust us and they can do it, then you can do it.
Doc, thank you again for being on another one of our Hangout recordings. We really appreciate it. There's more to come. Please, you guys are going to watch this. We're going to do some short ones. You'll see this maybe in a sales page. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll see another one that's been shortened up. Our main launch, mega launch as we're calling it, is June 2nd. And a wonderful, wonderful marketer named Pat Flanagan has taken control. He is steering this ship for us. So, guys, I'm Brian Prince, for Bradley Benner, for Don Van Fossen. We're the Lead Gadget ATM team. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Later, guys.
Thanks, guys.